lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janisa Janai, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here on my last video, thanks for coming back. I'm here today with a new video. Obviously I'm here today with my top 5 books I read in 2020. This is in no way in like a preference of order, like this is the #1 book I've read or anything like that. These are just the books that I've loved a lot, but by far I'm gonna say one of them, I'm completely in love with that book and I'm waiting for part 2, but you gotta hold on to know what book that is. Hi guys, I just wanted to pop in here really quickly and explain that I'm so sorry that this video is about 6 months late. I meant to put it out all the way back in January when I first filmed it, but I hope you enjoy it now and find a book that you like from the ones that I loved last year. The first book I want to talk about is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I'm not sure I can pronounce it correct, but you know, I got issues pronouncing names. So this book follows a young shepherd who leaves his homeland of Spain and takes this journey to Egypt to find a treasure that's buried, that he believes is buried near the pyramids. Along his journey, he meets a couple people that helps him on his journey. And so it's more of a self-discovery book rather than he's going to get this, you know, treasure. He does get the treasure, however, he learns a lot more about himself and you know, making the decisions in life and, you know, following your dreams for the most part. Along the way he falls in love, he meets an alchemist who teaches him about life and helps him to the next part of his journey and then eventually finding his way home. So I would give this book a read if you're interested in those type of books that would give you a lesson that you kind of have to decipher. If you receive the lesson, it's there to be taken. But yeah, definitely would recommend this book. The second book on my list is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. It follows the story of a young African-American boy, Justice McAllister, who starts writing these letters to Martin Luther King Jr. because he wants to follow his lessons, be more like him. And it starts because Justice has experienced an injustice against him, being racially profiled by a police officer when he was trying to help his ex-girlfriend. Later on in the story, Justice realizes that even though he's left his really bad neighborhood behind him, going to this really great prep school that his mom has gotten him into, he's still facing these little, you know, snide remarks and jokes that aren't jokes but are really offensive. And so he's now, you know, seeing things in a different light. He's facing, you know, his former peers from his neighborhood taunting him about the new life that he's leading. Not so much that he's leading a new life, but, you know, trying to better himself, and they think that he's trying to be better than them in a sense. So he feels as though those peers are trying to hold him back, whereas the new peers in his new school are trying to keep him down. So he feels like there's nowhere for him to go. And so the journey he's taking with his journal to Martin Luther King Jr. is to help him navigate these new experiences that he's having. And so it comes to a point in the book where his friend Manny, who he's been trying to show like, hey man, I know you've had these friends for a really long time, but are they really your friends if they're saying these things about people like us, you know? And so Manny at first was like, nah, like it's just jokes, you know, and then, you know, Justice had him open his eyes, see things clearer, and then him and Justice go on a drive and is racially profiled by an off-duty police officer. This police officer then fires shots at them. They're now facing the trial of this injustice that happened against them, and it all started because of loud music. The author touches on a lot of points that have been in the media a lot lately, and it was a really great read. It was really heartbreaking. I read this over the summer with my 13-year-old niece, and she really enjoyed it as well. I would say it's a book geared towards teens, but if you're an adult and you're not familiar, or you want to read a story like this, see the experience of someone else outside of your own, take a read. But it was a really, really, really good read, even though it was really heartbreaking. Next on my list is Wellread Black Girl by Glory Edom. I don't have the physical book with me, but I'll put it up on the screen somewhere so that you can see it. This book is a collection of essays written by Black women writers, and this book, it tells you their journey as writers and as readers as well, from their childhood into adulthood. It explains, representation in writing, young Black girls being able to recognize themselves in pages that they're reading. For me, it resonated a lot because, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, as you can tell. And so being able to see myself in that world when I was younger, it was like, are there no one that looks like me? I'm not understanding. Like, yes, there were certain characters that they pointed out were Black, like Dean, but he didn't really play a big part, especially in the movies. Like, you didn't see that a lot in the movies. This collection of essays, it opened my eyes to a lot of different authors that I've never even heard about. So my favorite part about this book was that every chapter, or after every essay from a writer, you would get a list of books that they would recommend based on the genre that they write. So if they spoke about sci-fi or novels or screenplays, they had all of these recommendations, and this opened up a whole new bunch of authors that I've never even heard about before. So I'm really excited to check some of them out. If you're interested in reading more Black women work, you should definitely check this book out. The next book on my list is If You Come Softly by Jacqueline Woodson. So this book I picked up solely because of how pretty the cover is. If I'm looking to the side, it's because my little monitor is on the side, so I'm trying to see if it's in focus. Is it? Okay. Maybe I had to hide myself a little bit. But this book is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet in modern times. So I believe, I'm not sure what year it's set in, but it has to be like the 90s. The Romeo in this book is Jeremiah, and he meets this girl, Ellie. Jeremiah is Black, and his parents are famous. Ellie is a white Jewish girl, and she comes from an affluent family that lives on Fifth Avenue. Might be Fifth Avenue, but I know they mentioned the Upper East Side. They bump into each other in the hallways of their new school that they both transferred to, and become instantly attracted and infatuated with each other. So the book follows their love story, and Ellie goes home and talks to her sister about it. She thinks that this sister is going to understand her predicament, and it was a complete opposite. This book was a really quick read. It was really beautiful. I enjoyed it so much. It took me about 2 hours to read. Yes, 2 hours. It was so good that I couldn't put it down. And it broke my heart in the ending, but it was such a beautiful book. I would recommend this if you're into romance, but like if you don't mind being a little bit sad. The twist comes at the very end, where it's very unexpected. Like, I didn't even think that anything was going to go wrong, because it was so smooth sailing. They were having such a wonderful time getting to know each other and spending time with each other, and then comes a twist. Just even thinking about it really breaks my heart right now. So, moving on. And the final book I'm going to talk about that I read in 2020 that I literally could not put down and literally fell in love with is called Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. So, you guys, this book is so fucking good. So good. Like, I am obsessed. This book follows a young Bree when she goes away to college after losing her mom and finding herself a part of this secret society. So this secret society, they're descendants of King Arthur's table. These descendants all have magic, which Bree herself exhibits. She has magic as well, which she didn't know she had magic before. Bree joins this society by convincing Nick, who previously denounced his title as a part of this table so that he no longer wanted to be associated with them. He denounced his title, and she convinced him to rejoin so that she can join herself under his command. The book touches on finding out family history. It touches on root magic. Also, it touches on slavery and the mixing of bloodlines and slavery and how that happened, if you know what I mean, catching my drift. But it shows the importance of knowing your family's history, which Bree does not know. So this entire book is basically a self-discovery for her. She's going through finding out that her mother had magic, which was passed on to her when her mother passed away, and she was beginning to understand her mom's history with the magic and how she herself can control her own magic and wield it, and also how she became a descendant of King Arthur's table. It's action-packed with a lot of magic and big fantasy. So if you're into demons, magic, and myths, this is the book for you. I 100% recommend this book. It was so good, a page turner, and if you surf the interwebs, aka Instagram, people love this book on Instagram, okay? 10/10 recommend. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you comment, like, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below any recommendations that you may have, if you're going to pick up any of the books that I've mentioned. If you want to follow me on my social media, it will all be in the description box, along with all the books that were mentioned in the video. Thanks for being here. I hope 2021 is going to be much better for all of us, and I hope you follow me on my journey till the next video. Bye, lovelies. See you later.